What's up, everybody? It is me, the Dr. Pepper teacher, Zach Bowman. See, that's too close. You don't want to see it. Well, we gotta start the show off the way we always do. Um, and I'm gonna be by myself tonight, but I got my Dr. Pepper, so let's count this down. We got 1, 2, 23. Now, you're probably wondering what's going on. Why is Zach on here wearing a Pepper Pack sweater, jacket? I don't know what this is. It's like a hoodie without a hood, so probably a sweater. There's nothing scheduled tonight. This is spur of the moment. This is just what I do. I just have fun. Um, I'm calling this a little bit of a not really a Dr. Pepper Christmas tradition, but it's just a Christmas tradition. And something occurred today at my school that I have been attempting to achieve for about 3 years. This is my fourth year at the school, but not four. I can't say that for 4 full years. My school has this tradition. We like to play this little game around Christmas time. Our head administrator, Mr. Landis, has this Russian nesting doll set in his office. It's the Marishnikoff doll. Richard, exactly. There's never a wrong time to drink Dr. Pepper. So he's got those, but he's got a set of Russian Marish. I can never say the name right, so I'm going to butcher it like 30 different times, and that's okay. Those nesting dolls, it's the big one, and then there's a medium, and it just keeps going on until like there's 10 different sizes. And finally, there's one that's about an inch, maybe a half inch tall. That's the very inside one. So every year, around this time, we have this parent who his spouse works at the school, does this great job of hiding it in our school. And it's a game for the staff and faculty. Who can find it first? And each day they release a clue. If you know anything about me, I am extremely competitive. I know, you probably would never guess that. So my first year, I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to find this doll. I don't even know what it looks like. And the first clue came out and kind of gave me some ideas, and I wasn't real familiar with the school or how they do it or where they hide it. So I just kind of was like, what in the world's going on? First clue didn't make any sense. And I teach in a Christian school, and one of our walls, we have this giant like Bible timeline that's painted that our art teacher's done. It's just awesome. I love walking by it. And they have a picture of Noah's Ark on it in there. And one of the clues was like, all aboard, time to float, get on board, or something, or you'll be left. And so we're like, oh, we all know where that is. And so we're walking around there, can't find it anywhere. And then day 2 comes, and this doll, I guess, was taped up on a wall, and the tape had given up, and it fell down. And so it just happened to be somebody walking through the hallway found it while it was rolling across the ground. And that ended the first hunt my first year. And so I was a little disappointed because, like, oh, man, I was just there. I want to find where this is at. I want to see what's going on here. And didn't get to participate in it. So year 2, I was like, okay, I'm ready for year 2. I got this. I got it figured out. And year 2 was a lot of fun. And I invested a lot of time going in early at like 6 a.m. and staying after because my daughter was not going to school yet. So I was able to get in extra early. And I spent hours in the library searching library shelves behind books because one of the first clues was something about the Dewey Decimal System. And so everyone's like in the library. And then there was a clue about yellow arches or something about the color gold. And we have gold entryways in all our doors. And the door frames are painted gold because our school colors are gold and blue. And there was clues that had to do with Fibonacci sequence, the spiral and the number. Then there was clues about what's the book? The Da Vinci Code. And so, like, I knew it was in the library. I knew it had something to do with the Dewey Decimal System, something about Fibonacci. I was checking the mathematics section, all this stuff. And then finally, the last clue came out on the last day before Christmas break, and it said that you need to look in the young adult section of our school library. So me and my immediate supervisor, my principal, Mr. Swank, we were like, dude, let's go. And so we find the shelf, and I had been in this room probably multiple times already, searched these shelves. I had touched the book. I picked up the book before, hadn't really thought anything of it. But the gentleman that hid this book, and that just reminded me of another clue. Another clue was something about having a hole in the plot. And we're like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, what he had done is he had bought a German copy of the Da Vinci Code. And like another clue, now that I say this, I remember was something about niet in the hallway, or don't run in the hallway. So niet, like stop, German for stop or no. I don't speak German, so I don't know, but that's what it meant. So he had a German copy of the Da Vinci Code, hollowed it out so it had a hole in the plot, and then hid this little doll inside it and taped it. Put it in the young adult shelf, and then had covered over the Dewey Decimal System name with the Fibonacci sequence number sequence. So like he went all out. It was so much fun. But my principal got to claim that one. And so I was a little bummed because I was like, I was right there. And I know I had actually pulled that book out, and he had it taped closed. And I think I had even looked at the tape and like, why is this book taped? I thought maybe it was like a donated book from like a garage sale or something. So I didn't mess with it. So I was kicking myself all year. I'm like, I can't believe I missed that clue. And then last year it came out again, and we were all excited. And I get fired up for this. I'm day one. I'm looking in the maintenance sheds, the maintenance storage areas. There was a clue about like something to do with cleaning. We have abundance of this cleaning thing. And so we had probably a storage room full of probably 300 Clorox wipes that I went through all of those Clorox wipes to make sure it wasn't like stuck down in between them all. I searched the basement of the school. That was fun. Brought a flashlight. I was down there for a couple hours. But I just got everywhere. And then there's a clue, and I know the gentleman that makes the clues. I know he's toying with me because I'm one of the most like aggressive. Like I'm going out there, I'm gonna find it. I'm looking. It drives me nuts when I can't figure out a clue. And he has a clue about Alejandro Garnacho, who at the time was a soccer player for Manchester United. He now plays for Chelsea. But and so that tells us to go to the soccer field. Um, and it mentioned about the drought and different things. There's clues about a famous racquetball player, um, and just different things. So I'm going out to the soccer field. There's already a couple other teachers out there on the soccer field looking because we had narrowed that clue down. And I didn't want to be that one teacher that just follows the crowd and sees if I can grab it last minute because I just didn't feel right about that. So I went to the other side. I would say we'll just say the left side of the soccer field, and the other teacher over here on the right, and they're looking. And so I'm looking down in all the sprinkler heads and all the irrigation boxes, and I covered all my stuff. So I'm walking over to that side. And as I'm walking over, the other teacher, Miss Morrison, screams, "I got it!" And she holds up. It was inside a racquetball, which had to do with the famous racquetball player clue. And then that was inside the sprinkler head that had to do with a clue about the drought. And so this guy, he goes all out, and he just wants to hide it everywhere. Um, and he mentioned to me afterwards, he's like, I wish there was some way that I could hide it in your classroom because I know you're going to go looking for it, and I know you're going to be the one that wants to find it. And it's going to be so funny if it's hidden in your classroom right under your nose and you don't find it. And this gentleman, his son is in my class this year. And of course, his son doesn't know where he hid it or any of the clues. But today today was day 2. And in the past, my first year, I said we found it on day 2, but it had fallen off the wall. So the second year, he's like, the first clue is like, last year's search was a total breeze. This year, you get nothing, or it's something about a nothing burger with cheese, or your first clue is a nothing burger with cheese. So I thought it had to do with the kitchen, but it really had to do like you just get no clue. So that year took probably every bit of the week, 7 days for us to find it. We found it on the last day. Last year we found it on, I think, the last day as well. And so this year I was like, I'm gonna just take it a little easy. I'm gonna think more about these clues and see what I can find out, see what I can discover. So we got a clue yesterday morning. They sent it out to all the teachers and staff in the building, and it was number one. It said, "Let the games begin!" Exclamation mark. Then a new row. Amid all the construction, which we have construction going on at our school. New line. Everything must seem confusing. Return new line. You're frustrated searching, though. New line. I find rather amusing. And there's nothing in these clues that is by accident. This is all, each word is well placed and done on purpose. And so I know I'm not going to just overlook things, and I always go a million different miles with every clue. And so I know we can't go in the construction zones right now, but there's construction all around. So I was kind of just scoping out. I didn't really do a lot of searching yesterday. I just kind of jamming it. And like I said, I knew the gentleman thought it was hilarious how frustrated I was getting the last few years because I was so close but never found it. And then this morning we get our second clue. It was, this year's hunt has a twist at the end, period. Read the clues carefully, but don't show your friend. And my thought was, okay, what in the school twists? Like, we don't have a merry-go-round. Doorknobs twist. The only thing I could think of was like, and I said this comment offhand to another teacher who was looking. I was like, our locker combinations, all the kids have locks on their locker. And nothing of it. My kids go to specials in the morning, so I'm standing there talking to another faculty member because we have a student joining us, and we were discussing, hey, what locker are we going to give this kid? We have a couple empty lockers. I was like, well, there's this one here on the end that would be a good locker spot. And I was like, I know we have one right here in the middle somewhere. But I was confused because all the lockers had locks on them when normally there's a locker that's empty and open. And this is when I knew exactly what was going on, and that the hider and maker of these clues was mocking me. Because from where I stand in my classroom and my door's open, it looks directly at this locker. So I see this locker every day. And I did notice this because I was teaching yesterday. I was looking at this locker, and all of our locks, all of our padlocks are the master locks with the black number style. This one has a blue number style spinner. And I was just like, that's weird. A kid must have brought their own lock from home, which we allow sometimes, but we tell them, if we need it, we're just going to have to cut it off. And didn't think anything of it. But then as I was sitting there saying, I know that one of these lockers should be open, it hit me. This clue, read the clues carefully, but don't show your friend. We always tell our students not to show their friends their locker combination code. And the twist at the end was the locker combination. And my hallway is right where the construction is. And as I probably mentioned already, that the gentleman mentioned at the beginning of the year that he is so amused by our frustration when we can't find this. So like, this is so aimed at me. And so my heart was pounding. My coworkers that I teach fifth grade with, they were in the hall with me. And so I told them, like, oh, it's in there. I know it's in that locker. I was like, I need bolt cutters. And we couldn't get bolt cutters. They were texting their husbands to see if they could bring bolt cutters because none of us could get away and go get any. We're reaching out to maintenance, and they can't bring any bolt cutters for us. And it was like, oh, we got a grinder. And I was like, we don't really need a grinder, but I'm not waiting, so let's do this. So maintenance was kind enough to come down with a grinder. And let me see if I can spotlight this for you. So I'm standing in the doorway of my classroom right here. I'm looking at this guy grinding off the lock. And like I said, you could see this directly from my door. This locker's just there staring at me. And then down bottom over under the right, there's an open locker. So I know we have open lockers that kids aren't using, but that lock was new. So he cuts it off, and I walk up there, and my teammates are awesome. They didn't like rush in front of me because like, oh no, you figure this out, you go get it, which I was very thankful about. Um, and so I go in there, I open up the locker. Let me see if I can find the video. All right, let's add a scene.
100% he did.
Teamwork. So that's me and my coworkers.
Day 2.
It's a day 2. We found the clue. But if you didn't catch that, inside the locker, there is a Dr. Pepper can. Now, that Dr. Pepper can is this Dr. Pepper can here. Except this isn't just any normal Dr. Pepper can. This is one of those safe cans where you have to twist the lid off. So, this was the whole, this year's hunt has a twist at the end. We have to twist the lid off. And then inside it, the little doll was hiding. I've turned in the doll to claim my prize. And then there was a note in here that said, "You win. Keep the lock and the can. Return the doll to Mr. Landis and collect your handsome reward." But myself being the nonstop problem solver, can't let an argument go. I've been frustrated by what the combination actually was. Were we supposed to be able to figure out this combination and open this lock without cutting it off? And so I printed off the clues on this piece of paper. I was counting words. The first clue had 5 lines with 4 words. So I'm like 5 times 4 could have been 20. The next clue had 2 sentences, each with 9 words. So I'm like 9 times 2 is 18. So I was doing all kinds of different combinations there, messing with it before we got it cut open, and nothing wasn't working. So we're like, just let's cut it off. And as I was walking out of school this afternoon, I just made the comment to my teacher, my coworker. I was like, we all know now that he was gunning for me. He was doing this, not necessarily mocking me, but just seeing if I would figure it out. And with the Dr. Pepper cans inside, with the clues about rather amusing our frustrated search, the twist in the end, I was like, I wonder, could the combination be a Dr. Pepper number? And I go, I bet more than anything that combination is 1024. And so I had the lock. This is the lock. It's actually cut off. You can see it's cut off here. I have since been able to actually open it now. But I got home, and before, like I said, before it was cut off, it was stuck about here. It wouldn't move any higher than this. I came home, used my old junior high skills, did 10, 24. No, sorry. I needed to do 10, 2, 4. So I went 10, past the 10, to the 2, and then straight to the 4. And lo and behold, it just popped open. And I was like, this was a Dr. Pepper numbered lock. They obviously had to set the custom setting for it. Dr. Pepper cans. And I'm just curious to see how many of the future clues were Dr. Pepper related. But Mr. Beck, well done, sir. This was fun. I'm sorry if I ruined your enjoyment by solving this quickly. But I had a lot of fun searching and hunting for these clues. I'm excited for next year. Mr. Swank and I want to possibly re-hide the doll next week and see if anybody can find it. But I don't know if that'll happen. But I did enjoy victory with a real sugar Dr. Pepper, not a real sugar, a regular Dr. Pepper, because when you're the Dr. Pepper teacher, you got to do that. So if you have any fun traditions that your family or your work does, whether it's hiding a Russian doll or white elephant gift exchange or maybe drinking Dr. Pepper together, let us know. Post in the comments, and I guess until we drink again, we'll see y'all next time.